Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I hope you found these sessions as interesting and thought provoking as I did. We started this morning with a clear point from the keynote, from the Sanjos keynote. This test center was never really secure, it was simply not being watched closely enough. And across sessions, we started looking what it takes to change that. In the first session, one that Ashwin, Erica, and Lauren talked about the reality of running test centers at scale. So one thing that really stayed with me was the check-in process. In many centers, it still comes down to a person looking at a government ID and comparing it with the person standing in front of them. That process having changed in 10 years, but threat has changed. Now you can see AI-generated fake IDs are getting cheaper, better, and easier to make. So we are trying to deal with a modern threat using a process that is more than a 10 years old. Eric also shared that ASIS had three of its four exams found online in the last couple of years. And from September, they're pulling back from remote proctoring and moving candidates back to test centers. And that is a big decision. So, but moving back to test centers does not mean we are automatically safe. It simply means we are dealing with a different set of risks. And that was focused in second session. So Steve, Charles, and Michael highlighted four major risks. Devices being brought into the room, identity checks that depends too much on human judgment, can see insider collision and content leaks. Michael also made an important point about proxy testing. It does not sound very high tech, but it can be very simple. Someone can just look enough like a candidate to get into through the check-in process, and they can still manipulate the exams. And that brings us to the third session. Ada, Bridget, and Raju asked an important question. What should be the modern test center actually look like? For high-stake exams, especially in healthcare, licensing, and immigration, the cost of getting it wrong is simply too high. A test center can provide something remote testing still struggles to provide, a clear, defensible chain of evidence. But a modern test center cannot simply be an old test center with better cameras. We need to rethink identity. We need to use digital IDs and new forms of verification. Remote proctoring already gives us this useful capabilities, continuous identity checks, AI-assisted monitoring, device detection, and these help spotting unusual behavior during the exam. The question is, why should these capabilities stay limited to remote exam? We should bring some of them into a test center as well. Because as Ada pointed out, proxy testing is not just only a check-in problem. It can happen during any point during exam. That means we need to keep watching, not just check once and move on. And finally, I think there was one message that came across all three sessions. Security is not just about having the right technology, it is about preventing problems, detecting them when they happen, and making sure everyone understands the risks. And that brings me back to Bridget said, we should never choose speed over security. A modern center needs the right technology, the right process, and the right people, because ultimately the value of credential depends on how much we can trust the process behind it. And thank you all for your wonderful contribution, and we hope you have enjoyed the discussions today. And we really look forward to seeing you in the next summit. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.